Welcome back, seekers of history's darkest secrets. Tonight, we descend into the dungeons of medieval Europe, a world ruled by fear of Satan, by the crushing hand of the Inquisition, and by instruments of cruelty forged not for justice, but for suffering. Among them was one of the strangest and most terrifying devices of all, the infamous Pear of Anguish. Used against men and women accused of blasphemy, heresy, witchcraft, or even those believed to have lain with the devil. This brutal device promised not swift death, but humiliation, agony, and destruction from within. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell, because tonight's story will chill you to the bone. To understand the Pear of Anguish, we must first step into the world that created it. The Middle Ages were an age of fear. Fear of disease, fear of famine, fear of the devil himself. The church taught that Satan walked among men, tempting women into witchcraft, turning men into heretics, corrupting society from within. By the 13th century, the Inquisition had been established special courts designed to root out heresy and witchcraft. Their power stretched across kingdoms. To be accused of heresy was often a death sentence, though not always by fire. The Inquisition believed that confession was the ultimate proof. And when words failed, they turned to pain. Torture was not only permitted, it was sanctified. For in their minds, agony could purge sin, and the shrieks of the accused could echo as proof of the devil's grip. This was the stage upon which the Pear of Anguish would appear. At first glance, the Pear of Anguish seems almost absurd. A pear-shaped metal shell, split into 4 curved leaves, joined at the tip by a screw mechanism. When the screw was turned, the leaves expanded outward, slowly, relentlessly. Inserted into the mouth of a blasphemer, it tore the jaws apart. Forced into the body of a woman, accused of consorting with Satan, it mutilated her most private parts. For men accused of sodomy, it was thrust into the rectum. The device was versatile. It left no dramatic external wounds, but it caused unimaginable internal agony. In some cases, victims bled to death. In others, they were left maimed, their bodies destroyed from within. We do not know precisely when the device first appeared. Some historians argue the late 15th century, others the early 16th. But what is certain is this: the Pear quickly became one of the most infamous tools of torment in Europe as arsenal of fear. Let us enter the courtroom of the Inquisition. A woman stands accused of lying with Satan. The townsfolk whisper her crops grew too quickly, her child died too suddenly, her beauty lasted too long. Superstition and jealousy take the form of accusation. The inquisitor, robed in black, demands confession. The woman denies it, and so the torturer steps forward. The Pear is shown to her. Its metal gleams in the torchlight. It is small, almost delicate, but the fear it inspires is vast. It is inserted, the screw turned. Her body convulses as the iron leaves expand. Her screams echo through the stone chamber. Soon, words tumble from her lips, whether truth or falsehood. It no longer matters. She has confessed. Records from witch trials across Europe speak of torture devices used to extract such confessions. The Pear of Anguish, though rarely named directly, appears in whispers, described in chilling terms by those who witnessed the interrogations. Torture was not always hidden. In some towns, punishments were staged in public. Crowds gathered to watch as justice or vengeance was delivered. The Pear, though primarily an instrument of interrogation, could also be used as spectacle. Imagine a condemned heretic brought before the crowd. The device forced into his mouth, twisted until his jaw snapped, his scream silenced by iron. For the audience, it was a warning. For the church, it was power made flesh. This was more than punishment. It was theater. A dark performance where pain was the script and the body the stage. Not every victim was a witch or a heretic. In some cases, the Pear was used for revenge. a noblewoman who insulted a bishop, a rival merchant accused of blasphemy, a political enemy conveniently branded a sinner. The line between justice and cruelty blurred. Rumors spread of inquisitors delighting in their work, of torturers who took pride in their craft. Some victims died too quickly, their deaths causing scandal. Others survived, broken, their bodies scarred, forever living reminders of the Inquisition's power. But was the pair truly as common as legend claims? Here the story grows uncertain. Some historians argue that the Pear of Anguish was rare, perhaps even symbolic, more myth than widespread practice. They note that few official records describe it directly. And yet, museums across Europe display iron pears, their mechanisms intact, their cruelty undeniable. Travelers in the 17th and 18th centuries wrote of seeing them, handled them, recoiled at their design. Whether myth or reality, the pear has carved its place in memory. It represents not only torture itself, but the darkness of an age where fear ruled over reason. By the 18th century, the Enlightenment dawned. Reason began to replace superstition. Philosophers questioned not only the morality, but the effectiveness of torture. Slowly, instruments like the pear fell out of use. Prisons reformed. Punishments became less theatrical, more hidden. But the memory of such devices lingered, preserved in dusty museums and macabre collections. Even today, the Pear of Anguish remains one of the most infamous relics of cruelty. Its very shape enough to send shivers down the spine. What, then, is the legacy of the Pear of Anguish? It is not merely an iron device. It is a symbol, a reminder of how fear, superstition, and unchecked power can twist justice into torment. It teaches us that when society allows fear to dictate law, cruelty follows. That when we strip humanity from the accused, we also strip humanity from ourselves. And perhaps most chillingly, it shows us that evil does not always wear horns or carry a pitchfork. Sometimes it is forged in iron. Sometimes it is held in human hands. So the next time you see a simple pear, remember, once, in the dungeons of medieval Europe, a metal pear bloomed not with fruit, but with pain. What do you think? Was the Pear of Anguish truly real? Or has fear itself forged its legend? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share for more dark tales where history and horror intertwine.